Stephen King versus Elon Musk. Blue check, checkmate. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of misty morning and focus combination. I love the zing and I love the bergamot. It's so good, so good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is I would say a tech day, kind of, sorta. We're gonna be talking about a tech mogul and a very famous writer, but not necessarily the tech side of things. Anyways, guys, what do you think about this cup? Do you like it? You guys have been asking me for it. It is in the merch shop. Go over to JCristina.com/shop. Check that out. Tea time. Do you see it? Anyways, before we get started, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks as of yet, go check them out. They are 100% free. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. If you just want to say thank you for all of my hard work, there is a thank you button down there. You can click that, give $1 or $2. If not, consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. And if you get anything out of this video, if you enjoy it, if it's entertaining, whatever, throw it a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. Also, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And then click this little button over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. One more thing before I get into the article. A lot of you have been asking me, what have I been using for streaming? And I've been using Speedify. The reason being is I was looking for something that would make the connection, let's say, faster, but also more reliable. And with Starlink and T-Mobile combined together, the way this Speedify works, bonding them, it just simply works. So if you're like me and work in a small office or at home and you're looking to have a stronger or more reliable internet connection, definitely check out Speedify. It's worked out for me so far. The kind folks over there at Speedify gave me a promo code, which is JCristina. If you use that, you'll get 20% off by just simply checking it out. 20% off is nothing to sneeze at. Also, if you just want to use a link, you can go over to JCristina.com/speed. Once again, JCristina.com/speed and go check it out. So let's get into this. I was reading an article over on the Examiner and I thought it was really interesting because this is the kind of thing that we see happen with celebrities, right? And it just comes out and everyone can see exactly the underpinnings of people and just how they are, right? Because, for example, Twitter is one of those things that people just go onto Twitter and they just start typing, they say whatever they want to say. And that's kind of a good thing because Twitter now is a place where you can actually say kind of what you want and not have to fear always being edited or censored in some way. So that's kind of nice. And that's what happened here a little bit, I would say. Well, Stephen King, the famous author, as well as Elon Musk, kind of got in a little bit of spat here on Twitter. And I want to read this article to you because I think that is fascinating. I think it's hilarious, but like I said, it really shows who people are. And I'm going to give you my opinion, as I always do on this channel, but more importantly, I want to hear your opinion. What do you think about what I'm going to tell you in this video? Down in the comment area below, let's have this discussion. I read every single comment and I try to answer or at least respond to every single comment. Anyways, let's get into this. Once again, I think it is very interesting. The author Stephen King, famous for the best-selling fiction horror novels, urged Twitter CEO Elon Musk on Saturday to take his blue check and donate it to a Ukrainian charity. After Twitter stripped blue check marks from all users who had not paid for the Twitter Blue subscription on Thursday, Musk elected to restore blue check marks to LeBron James, William Shatner, as well as Stephen King. Many celebrities scoffed at being without a blue check mark and refused to pay the $8 a month for it. On Thursday night, King expressed confusion as to why his blue check mark was still there. Quote, "My Twitter account says I've subscribed to Twitter Blue. I have not. My Twitter account says I've given a phone number. I have not," the author said in a tweet. Quote, "You're welcome, namaste," Musk responded. Musk revealed that he was personally paying for certain celebrities to maintain their blue check verification status. On Saturday, King suggested Musk use the money he spent to pay for the author's blue check and give it to a foundation helping people in the Ukraine. Quote, I think Mr. Musk should give my blue check to charity. I recommend the Prytula Foundation, which provides life-saving services in Ukraine. It's only $8, so perhaps Mr. Musk could add a bit more, King tweeted. Musk pushed back on the author's suggestion with a searing response, and I would say a deafening response at that. Quote, I've donated $100 million to Ukraine, Musk said. How much have you donated? He further asked King. Finalizing with, we turned down the DoD money, by the way. Now, if you don't know what that is, basically, there was a time when Musk said, listen, I can't afford to do this anymore. I've spent $100 million in Ukraine. The government needs to give me some money to support the Ukrainian people. I just can't do it on my own. Well, the DoD, or the Department of Defense, said, okay, we're going to go ahead and pay for this. And Musk, I guess, thought about it for a bit and said, you know what? I don't want your money. I'm just going to continue to do it because I think it's the right thing to do. But thank you. Almost as a way to see if the government would actually hand over money for the Ukrainian people to help them by using that Starlink service. Now, the article continues. Musk company Starlink has been instrumental in supplying Ukraine with the technology to ensure reliable internet connectivity. Communications for Ukrainian military and critical satellite services using 20,000 Starlink satellite units in its war with Russia. Now, them stating here in this piece that it's for communication for the Ukrainian military is kind of disingenuous because it's not just military, it's also communication for the people. And the people is who Elon Musk was trying to help. So yes, the Ukrainian military is using it, but also the people are using it because their infrastructure, their communication infrastructure was knocked out by Russian forces. So 20,000 units on the ground is probably going to be more than 20,000 at this point that have been introduced to the Ukrainian people over the last year. Now, the article continues. King has been one of the tech mogul's harshest critics since he took over the social media platform last year. But Musk has been gracious and complimentary to the legendary writer behind novels such as Carrie, Salem's Lot, as well as The Shining. Quote, Stephen King is one of the most creative people on earth, Musk tweeted last November. Despite King's criticism, Musk offered an olive branch with an invite last year for King to visit Twitter headquarters in San Francisco. Quote, while I may not agree with everything he says, I do actually want to hear it, Musk said last year. Now, before I go any further with this article, I have to kind of interject here that over the course of my lifetime, many decades, right, I found that people that have wisdom are more likely to want to know both sides of any story in comparison to a smart person who just simply wants to know one side. I just feel that wise people can become smart or smarter because they're wise, whereas smart people have a hard time becoming wise because they just get focused on one thing and that is it. That's my personal opinion. What do you think? The article continues. In response to Twitter CEO, King shared some backhanded compliments for the billionaire. Now, this has to do with the point where Elon invited him last year to go and check out Twitter's main headquarters. Now, he says this, quote, I think Elon Musk is a visionary. Almost single-handedly, he has changed the way Americans think about automobiles. I have a Tesla and love it, King wrote, but added this, quote, that said, he's been a terrible fit for Twitter. So what exactly has been terrible about what Elon has done so far with Twitter? I mean, what I've seen from the outside in is, number one, he's gotten rid of about 80% of the people there. Now, why he did that, according to him, is because it was bloated. They didn't need all those people. 80% could be fired and Twitter could move on. And it is, with 80% less people. Also, what he's done is he's made available a lot of the Twitter files, the back end to it, the algorithm, what was going on during the last election, what was going on before the election, what was going on until recent times, having to do with the government and other officials having 100% access to everything that was going on with Twitter, as well as being able to shape the narrative. He gave it to everyone. There it is. And what a lot of people didn't know until it became public is that all of your DMs, your direct messages, these are messages, if you don't know what a DM is, from one party to another party. That's it. Not public. DMs were always thought to be private between the two individuals. Well, guess what? Those were able to be read by the government and other officials also, even though they were supposed to be private. Well, what he's said now is what he's going to do going forward is he's going to have point-to-point encryption on DMs, meaning that no one in between, even him at Twitter, can read them. And I think that's great. I don't see a problem with what's going on over there at Twitter, but a lot of these celebrities do. That's just my opinion from someone outside looking inward and trying to look at all of the avenues or all of the thoughts going into it. Once again, I don't lean one way or another. I lean in the middle. I want to know both sides of every story, and then I want to make my conclusion, my decision. And that's one of the things that I think is great about Twitter now, is that you can kind of say what you want within reason, and you don't have to worry about it being censored. All right? I don't want to be censored. I want to censor myself. If there is photographs that I don't want to see, I'm not going to look at them. If there's video that I do not want to see, I'm going to shut it off. If there's something that I'm reading that doesn't fit well to me, I'm going to stop reading it. I don't need you or the government or anyone else to tell me what I need to see, read, or hear, or whatever, or consume. I don't need that because I'm a big boy. All right? And I think you're a big girl and a big boy also. You should be able to handle yourself. All right? That's just my opinion. But once again, I want to know your thoughts down below. What do you think? So when I read this article and then went back to the actual tweets to go and review them, and then review the thousands and thousands of comments, the majority of the comments were negative to Stephen King and positive to Elon Musk. Now, I think that's fascinating because on Twitter, what it is what it is. And if you see a lot more trending in one direction, well, chances are that's probably the sentiment to what is going on. And that's one of the reasons why Twitter has that community notes thing, where it has to do with this unbiased decision based on everyone's aggregate on what they hold or believe to be positive or negative. I think that's just cool. It's basically a community that decides what's good and bad instead of an algorithm written by a handful of people with who knows what type of ideology or background or pre-beliefs or systems that they are bringing into that algorithm, right? So I do think that that is very fascinating. But what I also think is amazing here is that Stephen King is supposed to be the America's finest wordler, right? The best wordsmith on the planet, let's just call it. And with a single tweet, Elon Musk silenced Stephen King, basically dropped the mic and walked away, and Stephen King didn't have a single retort. Absolutely nothing. He said nothing. Silence for days. Because what are you going to say to that? Now, I did read some about Stephen King because I want to know, right? Because you want to hear both sides of it. Now, Stephen King and his wife, I believe her name is Tabitha, started a organization back in 1986 that they gave, I think, this foundation that they created $3 million every single year ever since for the Maine community. Well, that's just a state community, and that is it, $3 million. But guess what that's for? It's for a damn tax write-off. Come on. Really? I mean, there's no comparison to Elon basically fronting $100 million for the people of Ukraine. Of course, Stephen King can't say shit. What is he going to say? So that's my thoughts on this. I want to know your thoughts. If you have other information that I missed here, by all means, put it down in the comment area below. Doesn't matter if I'm wrong or if I'm right. Once again, we learn from each other. And I don't really care, to be honest with you. I love to read both sides of every single argument, because if someone proves me to be wrong, I am happy about that, because now I have learned something, in comparison to being closed-minded and only wanting to know what I want to know and basically sit inside of this echo chamber and only speak to people that have the exact same beliefs as me. I never do that. I've never done that all my life. And that's why I try to make sure that this channel is unbiased with everything that it does and stays middle ground. Anyways, I want to know your thoughts about this, right? Once again, down below, let's have this discussion. If you enjoyed this commentary, even in the least, throw it a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click this little button, do all of those things. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you in the next one. Love you all.